Hello. I got a novel at the library a few days ago. Muriel Spark, The Comforters. This is the first novel by Muriel Spark. It was written in 1957. We're a long time away from 1957 now, aren't we? Well, I got it out of the library and I read it because I wanted to read something. I was actually tracking Main Street. I think I read Main Street by Sinclair Lewis, like, years and years ago. But I thought about reading it again, or for the first time. I know I read Babbitt, but I think Babbitt is the character of Babbitt is in Main Street as well. Anyway, I couldn't find a copy of Main Street, so I got this Muriel Spark and read it rather quickly because it's only 214 pages. I always know how many pages there are in a book because I often track how rapidly I'm reading things because I always had a slow reading problem when I was a kid. So all these things just sort of go on and on. Anyway, this was a failure to communicate, or a failure of me to be able to read it. My reading comprehension is okay, I think. And my mind is still kind of working as far as I can tell. But I was kind of lost in this book. So sometimes you read things that just don't communicate. They don't get through. So we start out with this story about Lawrence, who is a BBC presenter on the radio. This is all in England. So Lawrence has his job as a BBC presenter, and he's taken a holiday at his grandmother's house. Yeah, grandmother's house. Anyway, he has a girlfriend named Caroline. Caroline is a writer, and Caroline starts having these sort of hallucinations. She hears typing, and then she hears someone reading or declaiming her thoughts back to her. So this is sort of pursued in the book in the beginning, and it's kind of dropped away later. And before I read the novel, I had the impression that the novel was propelled by an actual story in Muriel Sparks' life, where she was on some kind of psychiatric medicine, a comforter, and was having these hallucinations because of it. So I thought it was going to be something more like that, a more of a investigation into that kind of thing, and I was hoping it would be kind of interesting. As it turns out, it was not that interesting because it involved just sort of it was kind of a comic novel in a way, I guess. It involved the grandmother being involved in jewel smuggling diamonds into the country, and the grandmother who's 78, but she's this smuggler, and a bunch of other stuff goes on, and somebody might be a Satanist, and anyway, I read the whole thing, and got lost along the way. Like there's there's a Hoggirth family and a hog family, and so they kind of intermix some, and then there's the Manners family, and there's an Edwin, and there's an Ernest, and it ended up just being a little bit confusing to me, and maybe I'm just kind of mentally unwell these days, so I wasn't that receptive, concerned with my own life issues, when there's sort of a romance going on in these books, I think about myself and how, you know, unconnected I am from other people and how I failed in that part of life. So I think I'm going to do a separate video about that kind of personal crap instead of letting it jump into all these. So anyway, The Comforters was not something, I mean, I read these other Muriel Spark novels. I really like them. I mean, they're both, some of them are quite weird and, they're offbeat for sure. But, I got something out of them. The one about Job or whatever, that one was kind of curious and weird. Of course, Miss Jean Brodie is great. But at any rate, I'm going to read something different coming up. So, and my reading is important because I don't like there's not much to do, I'm a little bored with life, I guess. And since I'm not involved with other people, that's the thing. If you're not involved with other people and the needs of other people and serving them and working with some kind of community, life is just sort of boring. So that's all I have to say right now. Talk to you later.